Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty big news to go and cover over here, where we now have more official, I think actually really good news, at least for all the Xbox fans out there, deal approvals coming in from the court. As you guys know, there's been a really big back and forth on a bunch of different countries, but we actually now have one of the bigger countries out there now actually getting and, well, being approved. So this actually is a really, really big step, a really big step in the regulation, a really big step in the Xbox acquisition, and a lot of other various things too. We're going to talk about that, talk about what might be going on, and it also may correlate why we actually saw Microsoft update their website. I think because with more companies and more kind of big, lawyers confirming it, actual countries themselves confirming it, that actually adds a lot more weight to it in the near, actually happening in the near future. So a lot of stuff to talk about that one as well. Kind of a quick thing before we fully do our quick sell it. So obviously make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, and for our PS5 giveaway with the Twitter link down below and Twitch stream with that, and the usual Amazon links, because we do have a PS5 drop I think tomorrow. So make sure you guys are using those links. Same with the Target too. But speaking of Target, we actually have another Target link too. On the topic of Xbox, obviously, we actually have a really big sale going on with Target right now, where they actually have the Xbox Series S consoles available for $249, so $50 off. We'll have that linked down below. But as well, you also go and get a free controller too as well. So it's not like, just the $250 for the console, it's $250 for the console, but as well, a brand new controller too. So in all honesty, probably one of the better deals. There's a few other good deals out there too as well, such as I think some TVs and stuff. But if you guys want to, I'll have that link down below. We've had a lot of folks have a chance to pick this one up so far, and obviously you guys can check for the PS5s too as well. But this one's a big one. This is actually a really, really good deal going on, so I highly recommend it. So as we mentioned over here, we have some nice news coming out with the Xbox Activision Blizzard deal. And as we mentioned, kind of big news. It has now been officially approved now in Brazil. So Brazil's competition regulator has approved Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard and has rejected Sony's arguments, saying its job isn't to defend the particular interests of specific competitors. So I feel like I said specific competitors really weird, but basically for that one, it has been approved. Now this is one only. You also have a lot of different other things, a lot of different other countries approving it, but it is nice because Microsoft has been now officially approved in Brazil. Brazil is actually one of one of the bigger cases where I feel like we got a lot more information from Brazil than all these other countries so far. So I would say this is kind of a big step as well in terms of this actually going through. So in a long public filing, Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense, or CADE, announced that it had approved Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard with no restrictions, making it now the second government regulator to approve the merger. So this is all obviously not in English, but as you guys can kind of see, they have the Microsoft Corporation Activision Blizzard too as well. They have a chance to go through all the comments and state that it should be all around fine and should be okay in the regulations. Now, as you guys can see, I do not know the translation for this as well. It also being legal documentation would probably be even harder just to Google Translate, but as you guys can see, it has been fully approved as well. And now, as you guys also saw too, Saudi Arabia did also approve this too. We are still waiting for more of the bigger mainstream such as America and EU. They have to kind of approve it, make sure it's not a monopoly, make sure this is all legally fine for the consumers and people living in their countries or wherever it may be. But this is a really big step. So as you guys can see, they have now officially confirmed it. So Brazil is the second country to approve this acquisition, which I would believe that does make the overall Activision just a little bit more likely. So in the summary, CADE admitted that Microsoft owning Activision Blizzard could actually impact Sony's business, especially if Microsoft decided to make Call of Duty exclusive to the Xbox platform. However, CADE said that if this was the case, Microsoft would not have incentives to make it difficult for publishers competing with Activision Blizzard to access its platforms, as this wouldn't necessarily imply a reduction in quantity and variety of the catalog of games available in the Xbox ecosystem, making the company's products and services less attractive to consumers. Several more arguments are made in Microsoft's defense, and like I said, the court has officially approved this, with CADE focusing on the FPS franchise. The regulator said that if Activision Blizzard games, including Call of Duty, were to become exclusive to Xbox, this exclusivity would not result in a substantial reduction in the levels of competition. So basically right now, Brazil is saying, hey, guess what? It doesn't seem like you could still make other games. You could still buy other games, and there are other games out there that are going to be not console specific. So think of maybe a game like, say, like a Rainbow Six type games like Division or like, Rainbow Six. Or as well, maybe other games such as Bungie, which, they already own, or the various games too, like Killzone that they've made before. So very intriguing to see this as well. Seemingly addressing Sony, Cade then said, "Furthermore, it is important to highlight that the central objective of Cade's activities is the protection of competition as a means of promoting the well-being of Brazilian consumers, and not the defense of a particular interest of specific competitors." So basically, this is what they're trying to go and say is, they want to have more of the focus on the people living there, so the gamers in Brazil or someone who may use Game Pass and all of that. They don't necessarily, they care a little bit about Sony, but it's more so they want to make sure their consumers are getting a good deal, they're not getting like price gouged, they don't have to worry about different types of things in their systems, all of that is very intriguing. So, and at the end of the day, I think a lot of folks are still assuming that the Xbox deal will go through. I've been a little bit skeptical, but as time goes on more and more and more, it does seem more likely. And I'm still on the same mindset that I just think that Sony should just invest like a few $100 million, make a really good FPS game and maybe FPS story, and then let's go get some more competition going on over here. Because Call of Duty is not the best game, but it's also not the worst game, and I wouldn't mind some pretty good games coming out from Sony and PlayStation. So Cade also did go and add, in this sense, although it is recognized that part of the users of PlayStation consoles could decide to migrate to Xbox in the event that Activision Blizzard games, and especially Call of Duty, become exclusive to the Microsoft ecosystem, Cade does not believe that such a possibility represents itself a risk to competition in the console market as a whole. Now, I would also want to say maybe a little bit, just in fact on like the amount of Game Pass, $15, Call of Duty, Overwatch as well has been kind of doing pretty good, World of Warcraft, if they worked that out in Game Pass. All this stuff put together does actually have a pretty big weight, and we kind of showed up, I think, the numbers where, Activision is somehow almost worth more money than even Sony itself, when it comes to the company-wise and for, PlayStation side. Now, I think PlayStation has more inherent value, but Activision prints money. They just have a lot of big IPs, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, a lot of these big games floating around. There's even more too as well, different IPs. So crazy to go and see this, and I think that kind of goes and keeps on stemming back to the big issue we keep on bringing up, where it's more about the other companies and other consumers, and it does seem like Sony will be affected. They specifically said on record, Sony would be impacted, but that makes sense. And as well, I think they keep on still pushing that the fact that as long as consumers get a good product, it's not awkwardly soft locked out. And as well, the fact that they might have a good deal in terms of Game Pass, cheaper games, which might be good for their overall cheaper economy, it kind of leads towards a nice thing for Xbox in the day. So it does kind of seem like the acquisition is getting more and more attention, more and more push through, and it does seem a lot more likely. So although the acquisition still has many more hurdles to clear before the deal is finalized. In the UK, the Competition and Market Authority launched a Phase 2 investigation into the deal and recently announced that it would publish its decision in March 2023. So I at least have a little bit more information. They might go and stall this out, though, until then, because it might take a few more months. But as well as also mentioned, too, we have to worry about maybe the American regulation, too, as well. So to go and state that the FTC is currently probing the deal, and so too are the EU regulators, which we did go and cover a few days ago. It was reported that PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan flew to Brussels last month to meet EU regulators and voice Sony's concerns about the deal in person. So as we mentioned, too, as well, we kind of knew that was ongoing, and I kind of gave Jim Ryan credit because if you're a CEO and you're trying to stop this acquisition, which is in the best interest for PlayStation, at least he is putting time and money and effort into it, which I can respect. But we still have I would almost want to say harder hurdles to go through with the UK as well as also America to go and confirm this on up, especially because Microsoft has had a lot of scrutiny too as well in terms of all their deals and things they've been buying. So, it's intriguing information, it's cool stuff to see, and I'm kind of happy, at least for all the Xbox folks out there, because, I'm a Game Pass user, I have Game Pass right now, so, if I can play Call of Duty with that, for $15, play it up on PC for, 1 or 2 months before I kind of get sick of it and bored of it, or get DLCs in the future with it, I'm kind of okay with it. Although we still have to see their deal with PlayStation to see how long they're to keep Call of Duty there, or like other games like Overwatch, etc. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. And as well, a reminder, we have the Target link down below for the Xbox Series S. That's super on sale. This is a really good deal for $250 and the controller. We have the giveaway down below, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on for that. Twitter and Twitch stream down below. Amazon links down below for all the signups. Do that. And the Target PS5s too as well. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.